so we're going to go straight into the program. So Fireworks, we are obsessed with stories, especially African stories. As an entrepreneur that I've been doing this for just 1 year, when you talk to people and ask them how they got to where they were, what do you hear? Now God, or it's by the grace of God. Yes, we know Oluwa is involved, but come on, you did something. And nobody's really documenting the African story of success, but you have stories of people, I don't know if you guys have seen the series like The Men Who Built America. Those kind of stories exist because there were people that were documenting them. And I'm so inspired by Nigerians, what Nigerian entrepreneurs and what they're doing, and I just feel we can learn from each other. So we started Bonfire. The image of Bonfire is fire is burning, and what people are gathered, and they're just sharing stories. And usually there's food and drinks. So there's that too, and there's music. So Moses just did that. We'll go straight into the show, and we'll just welcome our panelists. So when I call them up, please, you welcome them very, very well. First is, Seth is the co-founder of Roots and Raw, and Tamari, but unfortunately he couldn't make it. But his co-founder is here as well, and I just spoke to him. He's an amazing guy. I can't wait to hear all that he's into and all that he's doing. So please help me welcome Michael Njoku. Michael is the managing director of Root and Raw, as well as the co-founder of Tamari Festival. And he has his own fashion line. He has his own tech company, and I'm just eager to hear what Michael is in, all that he's into as well. Then, I don't know, do you people have these people that you guys just stalk on Instagram? And I don't know if you're weird like me. Like me, I just adopt people that I've never met. I'm like, oh, this guy is my older brother, but he has never met me. So, funny thing again, I went to pick someone from the airport, and he saw Sapphire Scents billboard just coming out of the airport, and I'm like, this person is not joking. I was like, yeah, it's my older brother coming for Bonfire, even though we just met like 2 minutes ago. But please help me welcome Wale Adejana. He's here with his beautiful wife. He's the CEO of Sapphire Scents. And last but not least, the queen in our midst, Natachi Peace. She is the founder of Health and Healthy. I don't know if she approves of all the food that we'll be having here, but please help me welcome Natachi. Okay, I'll sit. Okay. So, please, where's the other mic? We'll just go straight into it. What will happen is you guys will just share your story, Okay, I'll start with you, Wale. What gave you, the audacity to start a perfume company in Nigeria?
All right, thank you so very much. And this is what you are doing is actually great.
Thank you.
This is I like the documentation part, because that's the only way lots of people get to hear how people made things happen. And for my co-panelists, it's nice to meet you. All right, so I'll just get straight to it. So it happened that in 2014, I was working in an organization, and something happened in my office. We work with NGOs, and then there were two NGOs. There was one that was just fraudulent, and everybody knew, and then there was one woman that was just difficult. So I checked my mail that morning, and I saw a letter from our head office saying that, the difficult NGO should refund money because according to them she had done some funny stuff. And I was shocked. I felt like if anybody was going to be punished, it was a fraudulent one. As a matter of fact, this other NGO would pose like she was giving gifts, because we give them money to give stuff to the less privileged, right? And this NGO would pose, take pictures like we're giving gifts to the less privileged, and after the picture they would take back the gifts. I mean, it was that horrible. I felt like, like seriously, if they're going to deal with anyone, that was the person to deal with. And suddenly, this letter came and said that this other woman was supposed to refund money. So I began to ask questions. Why? Why should she refund the money? I mean, we all know that if anybody was supposed to be dealt with, it's this other NGO. Why this woman? And my supervisor said, oh, she didn't know anything about it. And the letter just came, And I was the assistant in charge of monitoring this project. So I just kept quiet. I was watching. Then the woman sent in a letter and said she's surprised at what she's hearing, because the last time we went to see her project, we were telling her that we are processing our next disbursement. So she's surprised how this letter came to be. Then I noticed that my supervisor and a couple of them were just beginning to put a letter together. They were just trying to counter everything this woman had to say. So I knew that this was an inside job. The woman was, very cantankerous. She's not a nice person, actually. She's been giving my supervisor issues. So there was a power play going on. It was like my turn to, okay, I got you, that kind of stuff. And then I looked at it and I felt like, you know what, am I going to keep quiet because I earn a salary, or rather speak up? So I spoke up. And and I remember I titled that letter for the record and I sent it to the Abuja office. And when the letter got to Abuja, they said, see this small boy, he wants to collect his gas post. That is why he did what he had to do. So they made up their mind to deal with me. And from that day, I was receiving queries every day. You would every day there was a query coming in. My file had so many queries, and then they won't even let you respond. They will just write stuff and put it in your file. It was that bad. And one day there was going to be a board meeting, and they went to Abuja, and they felt like, the look on everyone's face was, I'm going to deal with this. By the time we come back from Abuja, this guy is a goner. So they went to Abuja and they were having the meeting. All I could do was pray, and God gave me a scripture. He said, my times are in your hands, which means my times are not in anybody's hands, not even in the hand of the board. And suddenly, my ED, spoke all this English about this very, very difficult boy, a terrorist in the midst of this peaceful organization, causing trouble everywhere, and recommendation, fire him. But then a board member stood up and said, I seem to know that Wale guy. Let me call him and have a discussion with him. So a board member sent a text message to an assistant and said, I heard you've been causing trouble. See me. So I went to see him and he said, so that's the whole thing. I said, yeah, that's it. And he just died down, the whole thing. And these people begin to feel like, what? Like seriously, the supervisor, the ED, the managers, and they couldn't stop this small boy. What kind of thing? We still need to find a way of dealing with him. So I woke up that morning and a mail came in and said, resume in the Abuja office. I was in Benin then, and I felt like, at least I'll get away from these very funny people. But then I was looking at the mail. I didn't see any provision for accommodation or transportation or anything. It just said resume, and where we were staying was an official apartment. The office provided everything. If I wanted this wall yellow, blue, they would paint it to blue. Everything in that office, everything in that house belonged to the office. And here I was saying how they were telling me, resuming in Abuja. There was no accommodation, no transportation. My wife was 7 months pregnant, And so, I carried my bags. They even gave us an ultimatum to quit that official apartment. So I carried my bag and faced Abuja, and I was caught with my friends. For a while, I was sleeping on a friend's couch. But then, you see, there's only one satisfaction. People that don't like you, your haters, there's only one satisfaction they have. And that's to see you cry. And that's to see you down. And that's to see that, yes, whatever I did to him, it got to him. But I learned something. Never ever cry in front of people that don't like you. because there's nothing they can do for you. You are just going to give them that satisfaction. Never beg your enemies, never cry in front of them. So I'll wake up from my friend's couch and just like $1 million and go to work. And I'll show up at work and I'll be telling everybody the best thing you guys ever did to me was bringing me back to Abuja. And they will look at me like, this guy, let's see how he will do it, And then my younger brother got an apartment. It was a 3-bedroom, was only him, he had some space. I said, okay, why don't you guys come and squat here for a while? I said, thank God. So it was the day my wife was coming, I quickly went to buy a mattress. We put that on the floor. All our stuff were in Ghana must go bags, and life started in Abuja. So, that was October, November of 2014. And we continued like that till 2015. And then by April of 2015, it was my wife's birthday and I just wanted to appreciate her. You see, the way I grew up, I didn't see my mom do any of that kind of stuff. I didn't see my mom have to squat or enter Okada or I didn't see any of that growing up. So I'm one of the men that feels like get married when you're able to take care of a woman. Don't let any woman, don't disturb anybody with your own kind of issues, And here she was with all of that, sleeping on the mattress on the floor with me. My daughter was there. My daughter had been born then. So I just said, you know what? I just need to appreciate this woman, And so my salary was 130,000. So I bought her a phone and a gold chain. But by the time I bought those two, my salary had finished. I had just 30,000 naira left. And I began to think to myself, here I was with my baby, that one could eat. She was just eating Pampers, everything. Just thinking, I need to do something. And all along, I had a gift, I could smell perfumes. If I smelled your perfume once, and anywhere in the world, anybody wearing the same perfume walked past me, I will tell you the name of the perfume. I'll tell you, and it was just stuff we used to play with. And people say like, oh, how did you know that? We'll just play stuff. Then one day I was talking to one of my friends and I smelled something like, guy, what perfume is this? He said, oh, it's oud. And okay, oud. All right. So where can you get oud from? He said, oh, you can get it from Dubai and all of that. So I felt like, this is not a bad idea. Fortunately, I had a friend in Dubai. I said, but when you're coming, can you bring me a bottle of oud? Because I seem to like smelling. And, and when the person brought it, I felt like, wow, this is nice. The idea came to me. Why don't you start selling these perfumes? But I didn't have money to go to Dubai. So I felt like, okay, oud is a Middle Eastern thing. It's something that nothing else will like. So definitely there should be a clue somewhere. So I faced Wuse Market and I just began to ask around, do you know oud? Do you know oud? So they eventually took me to this store and it smelled horrible. It had lots of foul smelling stuff there, but I had a gift, don't forget. So I was able to identify, what I felt like, okay, this one, I feel this one can sell. They wrote oud on it and it's not really smelling bad. So I was able to get 4 bottles. And then I began to do my research on the internet on what oud was and everything about it. And then when I was satisfied, when I felt like I had enough knowledge, I put it on a bottle and I took a picture. And I began to tell people, if you know how Dangote smells, this is it. If you know how billionaires smell, this is it. Anybody that's ever been something, there's a kind of perfume they use, this is it right here. And if you're not using this perfume, you don't even know what money is like, And I just began to advertise to people. And out of curiosity, people just started buying, In 3 months of doing that, I had made ₦1 million. I would once I get to my office, I would put all these posts on Facebook, all my social media platforms, and continue my work. By my break time, people that made inquiries, I'll pick up the perfumes, rush to Chisco Motors, go and send, come back, take your picture, say this guy just bought a bottle of wood, like this guy. I was just on everybody's case. And we did that, and after 3 months, after making ₦1 million, I opened a store on Konga. And then I made my first sale on Konga. And then I went to see my pastor, just telling him, this is what is going on with me. I was just very excited about the whole thing. I said, come and see me. I think there's something with you and these perfumes. I said, I don't understand it. You are selling two types of perfumes. You were like selling mango and orange juice. If you don't buy mango, you buy orange juice. And you're selling every day. You're selling every day. There's definitely something on you with these perfumes. So this is what I want you to do. I need you to travel. Go to Dubai, go and meet the manufacturers, make good deals with them. I start bringing in these perfumes in bulk. And I looked at him like, you have no idea how much this is going to cost me. And then he brought out his checkbook and said, how much do you collect money with? What name do you collect money with at the bank? And I told him, like, oh, Pastor is so nice. He wants to encourage me. And, I was like, Anyways, in my mind, I calculated, he wants to encourage me. So maybe 100K, at least that's something. So that was what I was thinking. Like, because if you have not done anything for someone before, you can't be expecting money like that. Let's say I'm a thief. What have I done to, what have I done to get that kind of stuff from him? And so he began to write. And when he was done writing, he handed me this check, and it was ₦1 million. And I just went flat. He said, "No, Wale, forget. Let me pray for you." He said, "This money will not finish. Go and explode. Go and take over." And I faced Dubai. So on getting to Dubai, I was just sampling perfumes, entering different stores, sampling perfumes. And I began to smell certain perfumes, and I'll call the Pakistani guy, come. And I'll hug him. I said, "My guy, we don't hammer." And the guy was thinking, I'm like, "My friend, what you say?" I said, that we don't hammer. So I brought these perfumes to Nigeria, and I used to pride myself. I tell everyone that if you see any of these perfumes anywhere, come and collect your money back. I prided myself in being the only person that was bringing them from Dubai to Nigeria, because it wasn't like I saw them anywhere. My gift just told me that these perfumes could sell, and we're doing that. And along the way, I started the distributorship chain, which meant that you could register with Sapphire Sense as a distributor, which meant that I figured how the whole thing started. I felt like lots of people could do that. So if you register with me with a particular amount of money, which is 150K now, I can start giving you perfumes you can sell and make profit too, just like I did in the beginning. So our distributorship chain was growing. And then, and we're just having a nice time and making money. Then one day I woke up, and on Instagram I saw a particular page, and I decided to check it out. This guy was selling all the, in short, some of the pictures were my pictures that I took. The guy was just copying and pasting everything I was doing. And they were actually pirating this stuff because they were selling at ridiculously cheap prices. I knew how much it cost me to get perfumes, cargo, all of that, So a perfume I was selling for 20K, this guy would be selling for like maybe 7.5 or something. It was just disgusting, and I just knew that the time was right to do something else. And I did
you contact the guy?
Yes, I did. He actually wanted to be my distributor at the time. So I just released my trolls, my distributors. See, this guy, go and deal with him. So they called and fired this phone. They almost killed him. But I felt like, I need to do something that nobody can copy, because that's proof that you actually have it. If you define yourself. So the last time I traveled, I began to see oils from all over the world, from India, Pakistan, Indonesia, from, just really nice quality stuff. And I started using them for myself because I didn't know what to do with them. And so I had a client that said to me, I'm going for a very important meeting. See, from the car park, I want people to know that I've come. They say, "Chief has entered this place." So I said, "Okay, let me see what I can do." Then I mixed some oils for him, and he went for the meeting. And the meeting was at the State House. So he walked past the first lady, and she said to him, "Young man, what perfume is that?" And he came to tell me. I said, "Wow." That was all the encouragement that I needed. So I felt like if I was making perfumes that people were appreciating that much, I could actually create my own line of fragrances. And that's how we started creating our own fragrances. Right now we have 20 fragrances that are all Sapphire Scents created by me, including our bespoke fragrances, diffusers, beard oil, car fresheners, and lots more. So that's Sapphire Scents story in a nutshell.
Okay, and was it 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, your store in Jabile?
Yes.
What was that like for you, just seeing that come to life?
Many times I'll go to that mall and, I'll just begin. Then I'll see one store like, you see, yeah. if this what all these guys, you are here. I mean, if you can be here, I mean, I'm supposed to be here. I mean, I'll look at what they were selling, random stuff, and I'll be like, they are here. So why can't I be? And, we began to make moves. We began to make moves, and I just went there and bamboozled them because they said, "Oh, they have perfume stores." I said, "Like what perfume? You have not seen perfume? Forget those ones. They are not selling perfumes. Forget. You don't even know what until you. So they said, "Oh, I like your attitude. I like everything." So they said, "Okay, let's give them a store." And we told them that we're going to change a lot of stuff. And when we launched, they knew that yes, some people entered their village more because we practically shut down the place on that day. So the lesson is whenever you enter an equation, when a stone enters the ocean, there's a ripple. You get. You see, there's only one way to enter anywhere. Enter big, enter well. Let them know you've come. Otherwise, don't bother entering. Do you understand? There's no point. Don't bother. If you cannot make a ripple, you get. Just like in Abuja, I'm looking like people will be like Sapphire Scent. Not in what they say right now is not even a Nigerian perfume. Like seriously, it's an Abuja. We are just Kado here. Look at us. Yeah.
Okay. I know you guys have questions for him, but let's just hear from Michael and Natachi first. So Michael, you're the co-founder of Root and Roll, and Root and Roll started Tamari Festival. How many of us know Tamari Festival? Okay, I even see only you guys performed there last year, right? Yeah. So I know famous people. Okay. So Tamari Festival, I think that was last year, was you guys' second edition, and I don't think, well, to my knowledge, I don't think I've seen something like that in Abuja since you guys started and till now. So why Abuja, and what's Tamari Festival? Why Abuja? And what does Tamari Festival hope to achieve?
Hello everybody. Michael and Njoku. So Tamari Festival, basically the meaning is a beloved land. Yeah, it came from ancient Nubian language, a beloved land. And I'll just give you a quick background of how that happened. I own a tech company, right? And I was just doing IT business. But I've always had a passion for music and the arts. So every time I'll go to Lagos, and then I don't know who knows Lagos very well here. There's this place called Bogobiri in Lagos. They have this every Thursday. There's an open mic night, and then I will always go there. And you see like wonderful talent, like very raw talent. You go sit down there and you just experience music and art in a different way. And there are a lot of places. There's a Muson Center in Lagos. There's Freedom Park. There are a lot of places that you can just go and listen to good music in Lagos. And I really, really like good music, not the mainstream stuff that we enjoy now. I think I'm more of an old soul. So the whole culture thing for me, that kind of African sound that was just unadulterated. I really like that. So I was driving one day with my PA, and I was complaining. I think there was some song was playing on the radio, and I won't say what artist it was, so that I won't get into trouble. But there's a song playing on the radio, and it's a big artist, and I'm just like, this is trash music, and these are the guys that sell out stadiums, are the guys that do, that everyone's listening to. And I really, really, I want to be able to experience, raw talent here in Nigeria. I want to be able to listen to good music and maybe have like a jazz event or something. And there's nothing going on here. So I was complaining. And then she told me, she said, if it's not there, why don't you start it? I'm sure there are people like you that want to experience things like that too. So it struck a nerve for me. I said, okay, that makes sense. I said, okay, let me start looking for artists that can perform at events like this, and let's see how it can go. So my friend at the time, Jane, she used to run, she was a manager of Nouveau at the time. They've closed up now. So I called her up. I said, hey, I want to take a day at your club or your lounge and just have, some artists come and perform, do like a jazz night or something. She said, that's fine. But do you have your artist already? I said, no, but I'm looking. I said, okay, well, when you find, let me know. And then the next day she called me. She said, oh, I have this guy who's really, really good. He's an amazing artist. You should come and meet him and talk to him. I said, cool. So I walked in that day, and I saw Seth. I met Seth, which is my co-founder that day. So I met Seth, and he was just staring at me. All like I met him, I shook him, and if you've met Seth, I don't know if you haven't even know Seth. Yeah, he's a very interesting guy in his appearance and everything. So I spoke to him. I said, okay, so I'm planning to do this thing. I want to start a jazz show or like a open mic events. Can you come and perform at these events? So he said, sure, that he would like to, but that he's expensive. So like, what do you mean you're expensive? So he gave me a price, and I was like, no, I can't pay that because I'm just starting this. So he says, well, that's he's not that kind of artist. That's if I'm going to have him play, that this is how much I'll pay him. So I said, okay, fine, I'll find more artists. So I left, and I didn't even pursue the dream anymore. I just left it. I was like, let me just chill for a bit and see. Because all these guys are just arrogant and what's all that. So 2 weeks after, Seth called me again, and he was like, have I ever heard him play before? And I said, no, like just Jane told me about it. He said, okay, that I should come for an event. He was playing an open mic. I think it was band 2 sessions. I should come and see him play. I said, cool. So I went there, very expectant, because he has hyped it very well. What's this guy? So I got there, sat down, and it was a 1-hour session, and it was one of the best things I've ever heard. And for the fact that there was that raw talent and nobody had heard, I feel like I like music and I know a lot of artists, and I've never heard of this guy. So I feel like there's a whole lot more people like that. So I sat down with Seth after the event, and I told him my dream. And apparently he has shared the same thing. He said he has all the artists I need. He has, contacts with the music, with sound people, with venues, that he's really wanted to do this thing, but it's a matter of getting somebody who has the same vision with him and also funds. So I said, okay, let's do this. I'm going to invest in a first show. Right? I don't want to be a partner. So just you put it together. I will give you. Actually, I'll do a loan. At the end of the event, whatever we make on top of it, we'll split it half. I said no problem. So I stayed back. He organized the whole event. It was called Music Poetry. Our first session was called Music Poetry. It was just a small event. It was supposed to be a small event. And we got there. We did at Sweno at the time. And we got there. I walked in there, and it was full to capacity. Like, we had people outside waiting to pay for tickets. And the artists that haven't played that day,
that was here in Abuja.
Here in Abuja, yeah, Sweno. It was like about 2 years ago. Mostly the embassy folks. It was full house. I didn't expect it. I was just like, I don't know this artist's name. So normally if I see this flyer, I won't even go for an event like this. But I sat down there because I made sure that I didn't go for any of the rehearsals. I wanted to be wild. So I sat down, and it was amazing. It was 3 musicians and 1 poet. And after the event, it was 2 hours. I called Seth and I said, hey, I want to, like, any amount we on top of this, I don't want my money back. I'm going to invest everything I have into this business. Let's do something together. I said, okay. So we did Music Poetry 3 more times. And each time we were sold out. Because it was supposed to be an intimate music experience. So 300 people. And every time we will sell out and people will want to buy tickets at the door, but we didn't have tickets to sell. So we did this 3 times, and then I started thinking to myself, how can we make this bigger? Like, how can we get more people to experience what we're doing? And then I had traveled for a music festival in Croatia, and I saw this, there were about 50,000 people that attended. It was a big festival. And I've also, heard about Coachella, I've heard, Coachella Festival, Burning Man, and I was like, why can't we have something like this here in Nigeria? People want to travel for Coachella every time. We happily would want to travel and say, hey, I was at Coachella or this. But we have so much talent here that we're not even, doing anything about. So Seth and I looked at it and said, okay, how do we do this? Let's do a festival. So Seth had the whole idea, creative-wise. He had brought out this plan of how it should be. I brought up my ideas. And it was wonderful on paper. We had put the artists together. It looked really, really nice. But like, okay, let's do this. Then let's do a budget. How much will this cost to do? So we drew up a budget, and it was about 38 million naira. At that point, I thought I was a big boy, but when when I saw the budget, I was like, how are we going to do this? How? It's not possible. So we said, okay, we'll find sponsors and everything. So first thing we did was, okay, let's set a date for this event. So we set a date. It was like 3 months or 4 months. Normally people plan just music events in that time. This was a whole festival that had music, had fashion, had film, had art. I mean, it was unrealistic, and we had no money. But we're like, don't worry, we'll get it. Because I'm a very optimistic person. Seth also. That's why we made wonderful partner, because we believe that once you have a dream, it doesn't matter, how much it costs or whatever. As long as you can conceive that dream, the universe will make it happen. And that's why we're able to just understand each other. So we put together a team of 30 people. Just come together, let's do this thing together, Abuja Creatives. And every time they will come with their different bills. Like, okay, we've done this, we've done that. We need so amount of money to do this. Where is the money going to come from? And we'll tell them, don't worry, money is coming. Like, coming from where? So don't worry, money is coming. And Seth always, he had that charisma. He said, don't worry, we've spoken to this guy, money is coming, don't worry. A week will pass, no money. So after a while, our team started to lose faith in us. Like, what are these guys doing? You want to do something this big? Just go and do a music concert. Why are you trying to do a festival that big if you don't have the money to do it? So we were reaching out to sponsors. We had 3 categories of sponsors that we met. The first group of people thought they liked the idea, they loved it, but they said we have never done anything that big before. So how are they sure we can pull it off? So they can't give us money because we can't trust our capacity. The other set of people thought it wouldn't work because we didn't have any big name. I mean big name like the mainstream artists. It was mostly very, like Bears, Praise. They're not mainstream, but they're really, really good. It's like, if you don't have, where's Whiskey, where's Fowls? Nobody will come for an event like this now. Like, these guys, you guys are joking. You can't do this. Nobody will come. That was the last. And then the last of people were people that loved the idea, loved everything about it, but they said, Abuja is not ready. Do it in Lagos. If you do it in Lagos, I'll support you. But why Abuja? I'm like, Lagos has a lot of things already. We want a decision where we can bring people from Lagos to Abuja. You travel to Lagos every time. Why can't we do the same here? So we were so convinced, but these guys were not buying it. So in the end, there was no sponsors. It was a month before the event, still no sponsors. We had a date, we were doing promo, we were pushing everything, saying, hey, this is Tamari, come. Everyone thought that, hey, these guys have it all together. Nothing. So it was all goodwill. The guys that were on the team were just working because they believed in our dream. We had partners like sound company who can be them and say, hey, please, we can't pay your full fee, but we can pay this amount of money. So we're just doing that. And slowly, things were coming together. Like, we're getting a lot of goodwill, not money, just goodwill. People would just come and say, and then on my own end too, on Seth's end too, we're taking loans. Now, meet my dad, take some money, meet all that small money here and there, but it was still not up to how much we had planned to spend. And I'll tell you, the day before Tamari, that's the first edition, the day before Tamari, people were setting up. We had promised all the vendors, come and set up, we'll pay you. And guys were setting up, sound was going up, people were rehearsing. And me and Seth sat down in the back of my car. I'll never forget that day. And we and we opened the budget. It's okay. So who do I have to pay tomorrow? Tomorrow being the first day of the festival. Like, how are we paying tomorrow? Let's break it down. Let's not look at this big amount. What do we need to pay by the end of tomorrow? So we sat down, started working it out. So we pay this guy half, we pay this guy's one. And even before then, everyone that has spoken to about this festival, like, man, Michael, why are you wasting your time on this thing? Why are you wasting your money on this thing? Like, it's this too big. Like, I don't think it will work. I had a lot of naysayers. Abuja, nobody can put that kind of crowd. You can't make your money back. There's no big. So it was just negative things all everywhere. It was just me and Seth that were just, okay, let's do this. So that day at my car, we came up with the amount of money that we had to spend the next day. It was a lot, but it was not as much as what was on the full budget. So we said, okay, well, by the end of tomorrow, we'll pay these guys. And Seth said, amen. So the next morning I woke up. The first one I started coming registering, and I took my phone and started calling everybody I knew. Everybody that was owing me money, my father's best friends, everybody. I was just calling and say, man, I was running out as together looking for. In my mind, I was like, I am going to pay this guy by the end of this day. I don't know how it's going to happen, but we are going to. Seth was doing the same thing. So imagine trying to put together a festival, trying to organize what's going on, while still trying to look for money, running up and down. It was hell. If you have seen a clip of me at that festival, you probably won't recognize the same person here. I was there. I was sleep deprived. So we're looking around. People are arriving, everything. And then the festival was for 2 days. So at that first day at night, we had actually, I'll get more money here, pay this guy. Get more money here, pay this guy. And then we sat down and realized that, man, we had paid everybody. We had paid everyone we had planned to pay that day. And in my mind, I'm like, wait, how do you even, because it was small. I need 200K here, 400K here, pay this guy, pay this guy, pay this guy. And then the attendance the first day was not as good as we thought it would be. So it was very, very scanty. I mean like, let's say about 500 people, 600 people. So I was just watching. And I was just, and the stress of people coming to meet me, Michael, how far, where's my money? This one. It was just, it was crazy. But at the end of the night, there was a music concert, and I sat down and I was like, nobody should stop me. I want to enjoy the music. So I sat down right in front, and I was watching the music concert, and everything just faded away. Like all the worries I had to, I'm like looking around with the look on people's faces. I was like, man, no amount of money can buy this feeling. I've been to concerts where people are there, but you can see that these guys are genuinely having a wonderful time. And after that day, somebody walked up to me and said, man, this is the best concert I've ever been to in my life. Congrats. And I was like, thank you. I mean, you shouldn't congratulate me because, man, I'm not making any money like this. And he goes, don't worry, we'll be fine. So the next day, same thing happened. That night again, we sat down, me and Seth, okay, how far? What are we paying tomorrow? And the whole ball game again, we put it down. And then the next day, I went to pick up some artists, and I came to the venue, and I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, I was trying to park. I was trying to drive in, and the cars that were outside, because people that had come the first day had told people about it. This is our first edition 2 years ago. And I couldn't even park. There were cars lined up all the way down. People were trekking. I'm like, wow. Is this really happening? I walked in. I walked in, and I checked the ticketing point, and we had sold 3,200 tickets. It was surreal. Like,
in Abuja.
In Abuja, at that time, this was 2 years ago. I feel at that point nobody had pulled that kind of crowd before. For an event that wasn't really there was no big headliner or whatever. It was we couldn't believe it, So I walked in, it was packed. People were walking all the way. Sirius permit, some people were walking all the way from Sirius all the way in. And then the event happened, and I was called to give a speech at the end of the event, and I actually started crying on stage. I'm not an emotional person. But as I was giving the speech, looking at the crowd, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this can only be God. Like, we've put in the hard work, we've put in everything, but this, I can't believe what's happening. And the feedback was just amazing. And we granted that we did not break even. In fact, we lost a lot of money. We lost about 11.5 million for the first event because we were focused a lot more on experience. We didn't care about how we were making money. But for the first time in 6 years, I was in debt. I was broke. Like, I didn't have nothing. And we're just trying to make money by paying people small. And just to cut the long story short, the next one that we had, because of the experience that we have provided people, because of people have seen what we're trying to do, and it was different. My mind, I'm saying, I wanted to do Coachella, but with African vibes. I wanted the whole African culture to shine and to show. And then we got support from the US Embassy, we got support from the EU, we got support from the German Embassy, we got support from a lot of agencies that we had talked to before, and we still haven't broken even. So I know it sound like we still haven't after the second one we didn't break even still, but now we're on the map, we know what it is, and we have enough content to walk into any house. We're planning the next one this year, and if I tell you how much we've gotten so far for the next one, it's amazing. So the moral here is if you have a dream, you want to do something, as long as you believe in that, that's what's important. Nobody needs to tell you. Nobody needs to, support you. It helps to have somebody, because I'll tell you, if Seth wasn't there, at the nights what we spend in the house, like, what are we doing? If that support wasn't there, it would have. So we used to bounce off each other. When I'm doubting, he was there. When he's doubting, I was there. And it's not about how fast. But we're not trying to build something that a concert that will make money off once and then that's it. We're trying to build something really, really big that people would fly into Nigeria for. And that's what we're doing. And with what we've done so far, with our perseverance and with just the faith that we can do it. If we had looked at that money and said, oh, this is too much, we can't do it, let's forget about it, that would have never happened. So just whenever that dream is there, so that's all you need.
Amazing. Can we just... Okay, so Bonfire is sponsored by Ivan Innovation Hub, and the CEO is here. Can we just appreciate the CEO, Samson? Samson, just... Okay, thank you very much. So Wale has to leave very soon, so we're going to entertain just 2 questions if you want to ask him very quickly so he can take them before he leaves, before we speak to Natachi. Anybody wants to ask Wale anything? Okay, let me just... what? Okay, so Wale, just before you leave, entrepreneurship in this country is hard. Like, everything is literally out to kill you. From my girl's story, you see. But how have you, just kept your sanity and, just you wake up every day and you want to keep Sapphire Sense moving? Yeah.
Well, you see, you get to a point in life where you discover that, there's no plan B, right? There are lots of people that are good at lots of stuff. They are good at this, they are good at that, they are good at that. So from time to time, they can switch, But it seems to me like there's actually one thing I feel like I'm good at, and I didn't even believe it on time. I mean, for 4 years, I sat there earning 130,000 naira salary when I had a nose that made me $1 million in 3 months. So that changed my perspective a lot. And I felt like, the way I was, I've always had that thing to find something that I could give everything to, that would be rewarding, that would stand out, that would make the difference. And, perfumes made that for me. You see, doing business in Nigeria is crazy. I said it once that it's like jumping from an airplane with no parachute, but somehow you'll not die. So that's it. But I just felt like I looked at all the other designer brands, I looked at all these other perfumes, and I realized that there's really nothing to it. These guys just believed in themselves. They placed value on their gift, and that's their difference. That's my purse right there. The Versace bag. I walked in the Versace store and bought it for like 500k. And like less than 2 weeks after buying it, I was just swinging my bag, feeling myself, and the strap just cut back. If I had sent a personal shopper to go and buy it, I would have murdered him. Like, you sold me a replica, that kind of thing. But guess what? It caught, and I it was like a eureka moment for me, because I sat down and began to think like, wait, this is just calf leather that any guy in Kaduna and Kano can do, and put his logo on top. But these guys, what they do, they placed value on it. They said, I am Versace, and they built an aura around it. You get? So I felt like any of us could have done the same thing. So I made up my mind that, if we're going to build a brand, we're going to build something that nobody will hear what. Nobody will hear anything. We must finish it. It's either it works or it works. There's no plan B. Like you landing on a beach and then you burnt your boat. Like, see, we die here, nothing. It's here. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So that's what keeps me sane. Yeah, that's what keeps me sane, and that's what keeps me going. I look at it like, what? We're gonna get, like, this year we're trying to hit $1 billion, right? And I say to it, I'm not the one that's going to bow. You get, whatever thing is going to bow, it's not going to be me. And that's the mindset that everyone who has ever achieved anything has. And you can't be listening to people and saying they're not going. Imagine a chicken will be advising an eagle not to fly too high. Yeah, you are looking at it like, seriously. You get, so because people are not seeing what you are saying, they're not going where you are going. So you have to have your dream on a lockdown. So every other day, I don't wake up with all the challenges and all that. But one thing I always tell that there's an inside information I have. I felt like, okay, if this is not going to work and the devil is trying to discourage me, why don't you just let it happen? Like, let the failure happen. It's just like, it is like you're planning for someone. And no, that's where we set the target. So don't let the person know. Let him pass the place. But then this voice comes to tell you, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So why don't you surprise me and let it not work, right? Stop telling me. You get. So that's how I know that no, that's a fake voice. So anytime I hear it's not going to work, the devil is a liar, right? So in other words, it's going to work. So that's what keeps me sane.
You just okay. Can we just appreciate Wale as he lives and his beautiful wife? Okay, so just when I was introducing Natachi, she was asking me, is there going to be food? I said yes, but I doubt you're going to approve because we interviewed her for our magazine, Young Magazine, and we went to our store and she gave myself and the editor for Young taste of our products. I really enjoyed them, but personally, why I say but is, as much as I love stuff like that, eating healthy, like I don't know if I can do without Coca-Cola. So for someone that you're living what you're preaching, and you're trying to make that a business, what has the challenges been? So basically, you just tell us what health and healthy is, and probably just answer that question.
So health and healthy is a healthy food business, not necessarily cooked food, but bakery per se. And it was created out of my passion for food and to stay healthy, because growing up I wasn't really a big child. I was super skinny, but African parents, you have to eat and stuff like that. And I went to a secondary school whereby you have to serve yourself food. So I just couldn't stop eating, and I blew up. And at some point, I was comfortable in my own skin. I was happy, a happy child. I can't be bothered by anything. But 2010, my mom thought, well, she's always cried about it and all that, rant and stuff. You have to lose weight. You're a young lady and all that. But I couldn't be bothered because I was happy. I love to wake up at least around midnight and eat my rice, even if it's like with salt. So it was that boring. But I remember 2010, I came back to Nigeria for a holiday, and my mom, I woke up and she was really crying on the bed. I'm like, what's wrong with you? And she was like, can't you see yourself? You're actually getting out of hand. You're getting big and stuff. I'm like, okay, for once I'm actually going to try and do something about it. She was like, okay, because I was going to spend 1 month, she was like, she's going to take care of anything I'm going to eat. She's going to cook it herself. She's going to make sure I don't eat anything outside the house. She's going to CCTV on me. I'm like, okay, fine, I'm going to do that. So for that 1 month, it was okay. I was depressed and stuff, but at the end of that 1 month, I think I lost 5 kg, 8 kg, and I was like, okay, this actually looks good. And this is me going back to school, and she was like, well, I know whatever we did is going to be gone by the time I see you next time. Normally I would argue, but that time I didn't argue. I'm like, okay, we'll see. So I left. On the way, I was telling myself there was no way I'm going to let her see me like this or, in a bad shape. So I went back to school. I can remember going to the gym, and everyone there was just skinny. I'm like, oh, this is not a place for me. I left. And there was this sports shop underneath the gym. And I'm like, do you guys have dumbbells, skipping rope, bench? They're like, yes. I'm like, okay, deliver this to my hostel. They're like, okay. So the next day I got them. I started exercising, YouTube, but the food part of it was really strange for me because the one I was using back home was really depressing. Like, nobody eats like that. It was just like you pick food and you eat and there's nothing really holding you. So I start reading, researching what's going to work for me, what's going to be sustainable over time, because I don't want to like lose it all and then gain it all back. So, at some point I went into, studying, health and nutrition, personal fitness and all that. It was crazy for me because when I started, I was like
studying it on the side or
yes,
school
studying it. I needed to like understood what was going on with my body type, and then what I need to do to like, just end it. So, and because when I started, I was heavy. I started at 140 kg at my height, and then 140. So I really needed to like do something. So I remember I called my brother up. I'm like, oh, I'm actually losing weight. He's like, whatever. I'm like, no, seriously, this time. He's like, if you actually lose weight, I'm going to give you 1,000 pounds. I checked 1,000 pounds. Okay, another person to prove wrong. So I intensified my exercise. There were times when it was struggle. I had like months that no weight would drop, but I kept going. Instead of like using car, I would trek, to school and come back. Everything. I knew my food. I knew my calories. I knew everything that I need to know about food and nutrition. Like, I would be sleeping and I would just be saying it. It was just that bad. So, I remember my mom coming to visit me after like 2 years with my sister. I sat down at the airport waiting for two of them. I was just sitting there. They were moving like 30 minutes looking for me. They couldn't see me, but I was just there looking at them. And my mom was like, where is this girl? Where is this guy? I thought I was going to come. And then I'm like, this is me here. She was like, no way. By then I lost like, I think 50 or 55 kg. My mom was like, no. She was just screaming. I'm like, stop. And then I went to see my brother. He was like, no way. I'm like, yes, my money. So I got my money. And, everything changed, really. Not that I hated myself before, but I loved the new me. I had so much energy. I can do a lot of things that I couldn't do. But then I knew that at some point when I'm done with school and everything, I want to come back to Nigeria. Do you understand? And I wasn't going to work for anyone. I remember then when I finished school and I got a nice job and, trips, expenses were paid, wardrobes were changed. And I sat down with them, I'm like, is this what I want to do? It's amazing, it's fine, you don't have to worry about money, but I want more. Do you get? So I'm like, in as much as I want to, have my own thing, I want to be able to impact in other people's life as well. Because while I was there, I was, blogging, and a lot of people, Nigerians, were like, please, what can I do? I was, consulting with people, making money, telling them this is how you go about, and it was actually working. And then one thing happened. When I was finally moving back to Nigeria, I was at the airport. I had, it was 3 hours shut down. They couldn't let me leave because the passport does not show it was me. And I was trying to explain to them, this is me, I've lost weight, it wasn't happening. And I didn't remember that, I was vlogging all this while, my before and after picture. And then when I showed them, they were like, oh, we're sorry, because then my face was round. And then I lost weight, it was over. And then, I moved back. I told my mom I'm going to start my stuff. She's like, no, I fixed interviews for you. You're going to go, you're going to get a job, and then you're going to work. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I go to interviews. I purposely fail interviews, so I'll be like, no job. And then, when she found out that was what I was doing, she was like, is this actually what you want to do? I'm like, yes, this is what I want to do. But then I was doing it at home. It wasn't easy. I was baking stuff, all healthy for people with diabetes, sickle cell and stuff. And it was actually moving. And then 2016, I walked up to her, because people were like, we need a face to what you do. We need somewhere we can walk in and get these things. I told my mom I need money. She was like, money for what? I'm like, I need to get a front shop. Do you get? And by then I went for this, I was qualified for Bank of Industry stuff. But then I sat down and asked them to explain everything to me. They did. I'm like, well, I don't think I want it anymore. And I collected a loan from my mom, opened my front shop. And, business has been good. Sometimes it's low, sometimes, but the thing is, the consistency is there. And also knowing what you do. Because, a lot of people will be like, oh, you can do this. Why can't you bake this? I understand I can bake other things, but this is what I want to do. And this is what I'm going to do. Do you understand? And then you have, people feel like, oh, how they see what you do is how the money comes. Do you understand? Like, oh, this person is making so much money and all that, but, there's expenses there. Okay, and there are things you need to do. Like, I remember my first year at my shop, AMAC came and they were like, oh, you have that signpost outside. Okay, you come to our office and pay 50K. I'm like, 50K is for what? They said for the signpost. I'm like, okay, when you go down, carry it. I don't need it. They were like, we should carry the signpost. I'm like, yes. If putting a signpost outside is going to cost me 50K, take it. I don't need it. I just need to work on my brand and people will come to where I am. Working and, entrepreneurship is difficult. But I knew that. Do you understand? I'm like, because when I was moving back, I had friends like, I don't understand. Why are you moving back to Nigeria? I'm like, because I want to create something that I relate with that can help people. I want to make impact in people's life. And they're like, you want to go back to Nigeria? No light, no road. So I had everything worse that could happen in my head. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm just going to be running a business with no light. Yeah, I'll try and fix that. Get a generator. Okay, what about when there's no fuel? We'll fix that. So my mind was like full of everything that could go wrong. Do you understand? So if it goes right, fine. But then it's going to be terrible. So, there are challenges, bills, policies, NAFDAC, and all you have that are just trying to it's like everything is working against you. But this is, I sleep with the stress and I wake up and I'm happy. Do you understand? It's like when I'm baking or when I'm making things that, makes people's life better, I'm happy. Do you understand? It's like people go like, how do you do? Some days I sleep around 4 a.m. and I have to wake up by 5. I'm still happy. Doing what I know I have passion for, doing what I know is sustainable, because it's not like packaging anything to sell. I have to know my product. I have to know what I'm doing. You can't just, it's health. You have to sell people what you know is gonna be good for them. Do you understand? Because the health industry is big. Everybody wants to get into it. Let me take what I can, and they just want to sell anything. But then I've realized there are two types of people that, we call ourselves entrepreneurs. There are people that have the money, but they don't have the idea. So what they do is they're trying to get close to you, and then to know what you're doing, to know if it's actually going, and then you open it. And then you have people that don't have the money, but they have the idea. And those people, no matter how little money you give them, they will make something out of it. And then the people that have the money will always try to creep to your space to see what is trending, what is going to happen, so they can, move along with that. They have the money, they don't have the idea. I've come across those type of people. But then again, I'm not worried, because even if you get my product and try to replicate it, it's not my product. It might taste like it, but it's not it. And people that can relate to what I do, people that when they taste what I do, they'll be like, this is it. They know. So,
how have you managed to, sell? People are not just invested. The reason someone will want to eat pounded yam is not just because there's kind of like an emotional attachment to. So how have you been able to sell? Yeah, sorry, I'm speaking from experience. You understand? So how have you been able to sell eating healthy, to Nigerians? Like, people don't really care about the average guy. Just wants to be full. I don't care about what's cholesterol. Do you understand? Like, I don't care. So how have you been able to?
But the thing is, healthy is not about depriving yourself. It's not fact diet. I'm not selling some particular diet to you. I'm just educating you on how to eat better. You can eat your pounded yam. You can eat your rice. I'm just educating you on how to eat better and eat for your daily activity. You can't be sitting down in an office every day, like, 9 to 5, and then you want to eat pounded yam or rice every day. It won't work. You're not a laborer. You can't eat like that. No, seriously. You have to eat for your daily activity. If you, for example, like you sit down in an office 9 to 5 like every day, I don't expect you to eat so much carbohydrates. Do you understand? What I do is not about telling you don't eat this. No, it's about finding smart ways that you can eat that. Do you understand? Because healthy is not about, eating just vegetables. It's about finding that balance. Do you get? You can enjoy your sweet things as long as it's not coming from refined sugar. You're fine. You can have, natural fruits that are good with sugar, dates, bananas, pineapples. It's all about finding balance, not depriving yourself.
What do you use for sugar?
I use date syrup.
Okay. So, do you have an alternative to Coca-Cola that tastes as good?
In as much I know Coca-Cola is addictive, yeah? I don't think there's anything that will replace it. Do you understand? Nothing will replace it. Is maybe you want to cut down on the amount you drink. Do you get? That makes sense. Instead of telling you to don't take it at all. Do you understand? I haven't had any fizzy drink since 2010, and I don't miss it because it's me, it's my decision. Do you understand? But if you feel like you can't deal without it, just reduce the amount that you take. I'm not gonna tell you to take Coke Zero or take if you want to drink Coke and you feel like you've been drinking it every day, just reduce your intake. It's not about depriving you. It's just finding balance.
Okay, let me ask you, Michael. You're involved in so many things. There's Root and Raw, that's past Tamari. There's your tech company, and there's your fashion line. How have you managed to balance these three entities? Like, are you competing with Elon Musk or something?
I don't have a life. Let me start with that. I'm driven by my passion, and basically, if you do what you love, if you are genuinely doing if work feels like the same way, let's say he has playing the guitar now, he's enjoying it. You're doing what you love, so it doesn't kind of feel like work. I have channeled my my work into things that I'm passionate about. Root and All, for instance, whenever I'm at any of my events, I always tell people that I do my events for myself, and you just come and join me and watch. But I never miss any of it. No matter how we do all the organization and everything, when it's time for the show, I would sit down right in front, and I'm not moving until that show finishes because it's for me. That's how I put it. So it's fun for me. I've got to meet a lot of creatives, and it's just an amazing environment. So whenever I'm doing that, it's this is fun. I enjoy it. My IT business too, it's about the same thing. I've always been passionate about IT. It's a whole story altogether, a very long story of how IT kind of saved my life, because it's a whole story, but that maybe some other time. So whenever I'm working with clients, I don't see IT as just delivering a solution or a product. What I genuinely do is I provide solutions for my clients. So people have problems that they face every day, or I'm trying to do proper accounting, I'm trying to manage my business in this way. So when I come in and I'm able to provide a solution to help that problem, just them using my software, and I just walk by that's my software, there's this joy that fills my heart. You can't pay me for that. Yes, when the more you do that and people see that, they reward you for that, but So with that, same thing with the shoe line. I have the female shoe line. That's a whole story too. So everything that I do, I have a water company also that I'm also involved in, and also I tell myself that I'm young, right? I want a situation where I'm doing all this when there's no wife, there's no kids, nobody. I'm not connected to anybody. So if I have to wake up today and run to Lagos or travel, nobody will tell me, where are you going to? So I want to be able to do all this now. So when I finally get to a point where I'm married and settled, my family is sorted out, I don't have to do this anymore. When I'm old and my work will have spoken for me. So that's the whole idea of me doing all this at the same time. So when people are saying, but you're not doing that, I'm like, I'm not missing out on anything. Because first of all, with my I get to party while working. So it's okay. And I feel like I'm young right now, and if I can't do all these things now that I have the energy, is it when I'm older that I want to start doing all that? So on balancing all that, yes, but no before would I get really tired. There are days where I've worked, this is true story, I've done 72 hours straight in front of a computer. All I did was I stood up to go and pee. They were bringing food to me. It was a whole weekend I had to deliver for a client. I didn't move, like I was taking 5-minute snaps here and there. After that whole experience, I think I almost went crazy. So there are times where you sound like, why am I even doing? What is this? Like, why am I even like killing myself? Like, I don't want the money again, self. Let me just kind of rest. But then, if you genuinely love what you do, if you genuinely are passionate about it, it will remind you, and it will get to a point where, first, when you start a business, you started because you're passionate about it and you're doing it. After a while, it's no more about you anymore. You want to stop, and you realize that, man, I have staff the people have brought into this thing. I have clients have paid me to do this thing. So even if I quit now, it's not about me anymore. Like, it's now, it belongs to everybody now. It's not just me. So I can't afford to let down. Everyone has put their faith in me, whether it's my staff or my clients. So at that point, you don't have a choice again. So as long as you have a plan and you enjoy what you do, you really just know that, okay, this is temporary. I'm doing this to get to this point. That would keep you going. Like, man, don't worry, just let me get there first. I'll be fine. And then after a while, you'll be fine. So it's not easy. I won't say it's easy. So if you're not genuinely, if you don't love any place you're going into, if you're doing it for the money, I'll tell you, just stop now. If money is your motivation, you're failed. Because you get to a point where you're like, man, it's not enough. It's not enough anymore. So that's pretty much.
Okay, I love that you just said that last thing about money. So in 10, 20, 50 years time, you turn back and you're looking at your life. What is going to be the story of success for Michael Njoku? So, okay, what is success for you? When Michael Njoku is alone, what does he define and see success as?
I feel success is true happiness and being able to impact other people's lives. If you have 5 naira in your account and you are happy, and whatever you're doing is impacting somebody in a positive way, that is success for me, in a nutshell.
Okay. Well, how about the other entities? So Root and Raw, what do you want Root and Raw to become? What do you want MC Tech MC Solutions to be, in the future? What do you see those?
For Root and Raw, I see it. So basically, the world is coming back to Africa. I mean, African music is blowing up now. African film. I mean, Black Panther came out and was the biggest movie ever. So I realized that we have something beautiful in this country. We have a beautiful culture, but we don't even know it. It's until Black Panther came out, people started being proud to be African. Like, before you would travel out and you probably be speaking Fonel or whatever. Like, but now it came out, people are imitating African accent because the white man had done it. We had not seen the value in what we have already until somebody has showed us that. So what I want to be Root and Raw is to be able to show black excellence, to be able to take Africa to the world. I want people to travel to Nigeria, to Africa, to see what we have here, because we have so much and we just don't know it. So that for Root and Raw, I want it to be the biggest first to put together the biggest events, and also to create platforms for the talented. So if we have platform for musicians, platform for artists, that's my goal, to be able to create that platform. You don't have to have all the money in the world to perform to a crowd of 20,000 people. I want you to create that platform for these people, showcase what they have. That's what we're trying to do. For MC, it's still about providing solutions. I want to solve the world's problems in whichever way that tech can do it. So be it, ease of getting stuff done, or be getting stuff cheaper, or certain problems, agriculture, bringing farmers closer to the market. So I feel like technology is an enabler. So I want to build MC to a point where we are solving most of the problems that we have in Africa the best way IT can do it. That's why it's
awesome. So, Natachi, do you agree with Michael that money, if anyone is their goal starting a business and they have money in mind, they should just stop now? Do you agree with him?
Don't even go into it. Because some days you feel like it's not even worth it. Like, do I even want to get up and do this? But what's going to keep you going is why you are doing that. That's the only thing that is going to keep you going. Because people have gotten so used to what I do that I can't even not do it. Do you understand? Like, I can't see myself not doing this. And at this point in time, I've gotten to that point whereby I feel like my brand is not even enough. Do you understand? To cover what people are asking me for, that I'm going into writing books, online courses, trying to TV shows and all that, trying to teach people, because the point is, it's not just for me to be the only one providing these things. The point is for people to be healthy, to be able to do this in their own space. Do you understand? It's like me teach you, you teach the next person. Let the community be healthy instead of just spending money unnecessarily on drugs and stuff. If you're just doing something, you wake up, you want to start whatever business you want to do, you feel like you just want to do it for money, you're just going to quit at some point, because the money doesn't really come like that.
Okay, so same thing. What is Natachi's story of success going to be like? When you're alone, what do you define success to be, and what do you see success as?
Making impact in people's life, and then being contented. Because, in as much as, I see a lot of things around, I'm totally 101% contented in myself. And some days you feel like, the money is not even coming, but I'm still happy. Do you understand? As long as I pay my staff, pay my bills and everything, I'm really, really contented in myself. Do you understand? So it's all about making impact in people's life and just being contented.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for, Michael? Okay. So, can I get Lisa or someone, so that you just pass the mic to...
Hello.
Yeah.
So this question is to Michael. Tamari is for 3 days or 2 days? Okay. So, peradventure just 2 people came for Tamari Festival. Maybe the first day, maybe 3 now came the second day. Then 1 now came the third day, just, Would you have continued?
A very big yes. First of all, this edition, we didn't see as much people first, because we focused a lot more on the experience than actually marketing, which is what passion does to you sometimes. So the first edition we had, second time I think it was about 1,000 something. And genuinely, and I said again in my speech that day, that even if I had 5 people, and it might be hard to believe, because like I said, the 2 times we lost money, a lot of money, not even, if I was worried about, the people and all that, the money, then maybe, but for me, that feeling, that journey, if someone walk up to you and say, man, guy, you guys did an amazing job here, or that is what's more than anything. You can always make money, but that experience and the good thing about it is that when you do something like this, that person would always, go out and spread the word. If you make someone feel a certain kind of way, your product, even if it's 5 people that came today, tomorrow it will be 10. The same way we had that the first day too, that nobody came, and then the next day. So for me, even if it was 2 people, 1 person, as long as whoever that person was had the experience that I was trying to create, it's gold for me, because I know that in the future that would bring money eventually.
Right, my question is from Tashi. You talked about 2 sets of people. There are people that have the idea but don't have the money to really back up what they're doing. Then you have the people that have the money and they're out looking for what you're doing. So when they find what you're doing, they just pick it out and just spread it out, and they have the results or everything to go about it. So when you keep on doing this, but you're not really seeing the results, but that's what drives you. How do you find joy, or how do you keep on doing it, but it's not bringing in the cash? But yes, this is what you're called for, and this is what you're trying to do.
At some point, the money is gonna come. That's just it. The money will come. You might not know when the money will come, but it will come. As long as you know that what you're doing is solving a problem. You need to make sure you're solving a problem. If you're solving a problem, people will come to you. If they don't know about you, you go to them. But as long as you're solving a problem, money will come. Do you understand? When I started my business, I think the first 2 months or 3 months, and I was just looking at it like, okay, this is good. Do you understand? Because it takes for you to build a brand, it takes people to trust you. Do you understand? If people trust you and know that you deliver, you are your own brand, what you say is actually what you're doing, is what you stand for, they will keep coming. Don't even look at how much you're making now, because as long as you're solving a problem, money is going to come. That's just it.
Okay, my question is for Michael. What would be your advice to someone who wants to start something? Okay, has several things that would want to do, and then what's like the starting point? How would you advise the starting point? You run recently, say you added the water company, there's the fashion line, and then there's the tech company, and then there's Root and Raw. So if you were to advise someone also who thinks that there are actually quite a few things that I could do, like putting together to do, how would you advise the startup? Would you think, okay, do 4 and then just grow them together? How would you do that?
I advise you start with one, the one that you are most good at, right? Root and Raw wouldn't have started if I didn't have the money to fund it to a certain extent, and that fund was from my tech company. So I started with IT fully, because no matter how passionate you're about something, when you're doing multiple things, they will suffer. So if I'm really good at this one thing and I start doing something else, that one thing will start suffering. So you start building that one until it gets to a point where it wouldn't miss your absence a little bit. So now I built my IT company. I started in 2012, and Root and Raw was 2016. So I had run it for a while. I had started getting staff. So it was at the point where I could take a little step off and start doing. So yes, I knew that I always wanted to be in entertainment. I used to dance when I was in university. I used to put together shows. I knew that I wanted to do that, but I didn't see how that would work yet. So IT was my first starting point. I've reached to the point where I can say, okay, I can now invest in this, and then you go from there. And you also need to know your limits too, because there's a point where you stretch yourself too thin. It happened to me. So there are times where I got to a point where I couldn't even do anyone, because you are too tired of doing everything that you cannot even focus on one thing. My clients were complaining, oh, you're never around, you're always busy. So I had to take a step back again. So I advise, find the one thing that you're really the best at, and that you know that you can start right now. There's some businesses that need money upfront. There's some that you can start without capital, like IT. All I needed was my head and my laptop. I didn't need any capital. So You need to just figure out what it is, have a plan. Okay, I want, but don't, don't forget about your dream. Even if it takes you 30 years, if you want to do this thing, say, I will do this thing, but to do this, I need to do this, but don't start everything at once. You fail.
Okay, please can you just appreciate our panelists, Michael and Natachi, as they return to their seats. So, like I said, Bonfire is supposed to be creatives and entrepreneurs, sharing their stories of success and failures. So Moses was on Niger Sings and he was the winner of Niger Idols. So, where's the mic? Okay. No, don't worry. It's just because I've known you for about a year now. Your music is not really what people like. What your kind of music is not exactly what's being played on radio. So as an artist, how have you managed to? Are you ever tempted to start? Do you understand? Oh.
No. I'll be honest. At some point, I do have one track that I released that was Pangolo music, and I think I dropped this like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I've only allowed myself perform that song twice. Once was because it was by force. Second time was a surprise. You get at some point in time, I took a lot of time off music and just decided to do me because I had to decide if what I really wanted was important enough for me to make the sacrifices that the world was demanding. You get, for whatever it is you want to do, there's a price to pay. It's not always going to be rosy. The fact that you've made one decision, there are so many other things you're giving up. There are so many other things that are going to start coming after you. So I don't know. I figured out this is what I love. I love the truth of my expression, and I'd rather stick to it. So yeah, I do this for me now.
Okay, so now are you focused on probably building your own platform? Probably I know some people say record labels are gonna be extinct soon. So do you believe that you're going to just continue your Moses Obi brand and all of that?
I don't know. I'm currently doing a lot of things. For me, it's not just, I think because of my whole experience from being a reality show winner and a lot of things that happened with that, I recently started my own company called the True Art Movement. And part of the reasons I did that was to create a safe space for artists. A place where there is enough importance placed on the artistic integrity as opposed to how many zeros you're making for me at the end of the year. And we recently started our own show, a monthly called Cradle. And what it is like he said, it's an intimate artistic platform. It's not about the audience. It's not about creating an amazing experience for whoever is going to come see it. It's about creating a place where an artist can come and lose themselves. And that is what we are offering our audience. Do you get? So for me, I'm in the headspace to change things. Do you get? Everyone thinks the industry can only work one way, and I'm like, no, there are so many other ways. There are so many other platforms. There are so many other mediums through which you can get what you do to the people it needs to get to. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Okay, so I don't know if you saw. So Don Jazzy tweeted, was it last week, that the Nigerian music industry needs more songwriters, and what he's saying is true, but I don't think we lack songwriters. I think
I think it's not that we lack it. It's the general mentality in regards to not even just music. I think business. Everyone believes you have to be the one person who's going to do everything in regards to what you want to do. You want to start up a company, okay, I am the one who will run finance and admin, and I will still run every single aspect. That doesn't work. You have to learn to delegate. You have to learn that different aspects of whatever it is you want to achieve have to be taken care of by people who are dedicated, who have that niche. And that's what I like to do in my company. I like to outsource a lot to people who I believe are dedicated to a particular niche, because I feel like you get better goals that way. And our generation is filled with people who are diving into such specified niches that for whatever you want to achieve, even as CEO, you can literally sit back and pretend you're a project manager and everybody's doing the work. And in regards to the music industry, there are so many aspects of it, not just as an artist. I mean, everyone expects you to be your own artist, your manager, your stylist, your music director, songwriter. You're still directing your own production sessions. You're handling your PR. You're handling your A&R. You are your own agent. It's a lot. But each of these roles can have one person dedicated to it. And I feel like as the industry expands, if we have more people embracing and learning to pay for quality music, learning to support quality music, then we can expand the industry to a point where it has more definition and structure.
So we've come to the end of the first edition of Bonfire, and hopefully we want to see how we can do this monthly, just have creatives and entrepreneurs come in and share their stories. So just to encourage me, how many of us had a good time? Okay, so it's mostly my friends raising their anyway, but I want to appreciate Michael and Njoku and Natachi Peace. I love what you guys are doing, and I'm looking forward to, seeing the enterprises that you guys are building become big all over Africa. So thank you again for coming. There's food and there's drinks. We've come to the end of Bonfire. Have fun, and God bless you guys. Thank you.